Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Carl's Conversations. This month, the month of February, Black History Month, we are shining the spotlight on Black excellence through our Black Excellence Showcase. And we want to shine the spotlight of Black excellence in business, history, community advocacy, and involvement, and all things creative. And tonight we have on the other side of our screen a tremendously talented young man in the person of Mr. Mickey Armstrong. Yes, you may notice that him and I share the same last name and we share some of the same DNA. But I tell you what, that makes no difference. He didn't get here because we're related. He got here because he is in himself a showcase in Black excellence. But before we get started, I'm going to tell you right now, please tell somebody that Carl's Conversations is on. We're talking to Mickey Armstrong. You don't want to miss what he has to share. We're live right now on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitter or X, whatever you like to call it. So tag your family and friends. Let somebody know that we're on so that they can come on with us and share into this showcase of Black excellence. Well, Mickey, God bless you, brother, and welcome back again to Carl's Conversations. We're going to talk about all the wonderful things that you're doing. Welcome to you.
Hey man, it's great. Thanks for having me back.
Hey, listen, I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm blown away whenever I have a chance to have you on because there are so many things that you do. I'm going to give the audience just a little hint, and then I'm going to leave it to the expert to tell them. Now, Mickey Armstrong is a founder and owner of Armstrong Media LLC. And from that tremendous umbrella, I guess you would call it, District of Curves. Now, if y'all don't know what District of Curves is, that is the DMV area full figured fashion showcase. Before my first time, year before last, I didn't know that anything like it ever exists. I was blown away with the excellence of the production of the fashion show. When I tell you the personification of Black excellence, it is tremendous. Mickey is also the founder and proprietor of M. Armstrong Photography and a whole bunch of other stuff that I couldn't begin to tell you. So I'm going to hand it over to the creator and the business owner himself. And Mickey, please tell the audience a little about you and all the various things you do.
Yeah, definitely. So, as you said, M. Armstrong Photography, that's the photography arm, but the whole umbrella, Armstrong Media Company LLC. And so, we do have District of Curves, which is the DC full figured fashion showcase. And it's a whole DMV plus size fashion network now. The fashion show hit 10 years in 2024. And so that network has just grown and grown. And, we do not just fashion, but body positivity stuff. But I mean, there's fashion, there's photography, there's makeup, there's hair, there's clothes. There's a whole community of things, that serve an underserved community, right there. So, we've grown that. DC has been very, very good to me as somebody that's from the 757. I'm not a DC native, but DC has been good. And then my photography, I've been shooting since, well, I'm not going to say the year, put my age out there, but since I was in college, so that was a way for me to earn some money. So, M. Armstrong Photography, I have Plus Model Photography, which is, it just focuses on the plus modeling industry. And I do all types of stuff, man. Anything in the creative space.
Hey, man, that's what I'm talking about. It is amazing to me. And I want to talk about, first of all, District of Curves, because we can say that. And I got the information scrolling at the bottom and people can see it. I guess when they go to the website or one of the various areas of media that you have it posted, they can see it. But I want them to hear this from the mouth of the creator. First of all, what is it? Second of all, what was the burn in you that caused the idea, and what was the process to bring it to the area of excellence that it is now?
Yeah, so District of Curves is, a lot of people will say, it's a fashion show, right? Which it is. big plus size fashion show, 10 years in the running. Um, and we showcase not just regular like fashions that you go get from the store. Like we showcase designers, like designers that hand make their stuff, haute couture type stuff you would see on the runway in New York Fashion Week. That's the what we see, what we service, but for the plus size community, because a lot of times you cannot find, or it's very difficult to find those things and to find those creators that make that stuff. So that is one of the things that we put on the runway and put on our network, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, where we have 75,000 subscribers and we just hit 25 million views on YouTube. So yeah.
Back up, say that one more time.
Yeah, we have 75,000 subscribers and we just hit 25 million views on YouTube.
For the District of Curves.
Yeah. Yeah. So
my God.
That is one of the things that when we are shopping this around to the designers, we tell them like it's not just the night of the show that we have your brand out there, because I feel like I don't want people to waste their time with me if they're not going to be able to make money and get exposure from what we're doing. Mm-hmm. So, we put it out there. Yeah, that night of the show is live, you see it, but we run this stuff all year long, and even longer, on our social media channels for people to be able to come back and reconnect. Because if you're going to spend money with me, I want you to have an opportunity to make that money back.
Man, so what made you say that this is an underserved community and I have something to offer? Because I'm imagining that when you first started this, were you even able to see all these millions of viewers, all these thousands of subscribers? What was it that had the burn in your belly and gave you the confidence to go forward?
So I've been doing events, right, since I was 16 years old, like throwing parties at the rec center, throwing parties, in my mom and dad's garage, back when I was in high school, doing all of that, and then getting to school, and throwing all the big parties in school. So me and my team, we always wanted to do a fashion show and just hadn't had the opportunity. And so, fast forward 2013, I'm shooting for my book, The Curves Ahead Project, which volume 1 came out in 2015. And I'm working on volume 2 now. But that's a coffee table book, photography book that's dedicated to plus size women. So in that search for the people to be in the book, I was coming across a lot of ladies who they wanted to model, plus size women, they had dreams and aspirations, wanted to model. Like, little girls want to be all types of things. And they would just talk about that. A lot of the ladies I called everyday women, they're either too short, too big, too whatever to model. And so, I'm seeing all these other people go to New York and everything for fashion shows. And I'm like, well, we're in DC. Like, there's no plus size fashion show, no dedicated fashion show here in DC. Like, and this is the nation's capital. So it's like, all right, let's put on a show. Let's have some fun. Let's play around, put on the show, see what it does. I want the ladies from my book to be in the show. I needed to find clothes. My fashion director that I met, she didn't know me from anybody, Doretta Johns. She responded to a post she had a boutique in Baltimore. She responded to a post and she came and she bought clothes and she signed on to help me find other people that would give this person who was not from here, who had this crazy idea, who would give me their clothes to put on the runway. And, it grew from there, man. We did it. The response was way bigger than what I thought it was going to be. The confidence, that seeing the ladies transform throughout the process, and then having the ladies share their stories, about size and being discriminated against, all of that, like, touched me and helped me because, as cousin, I grew up a fat little boy. So, I had all of those let me say this. I thought I was fat, right?
Oh, there you go. Okay.
But, all of those feelings of like body image issues and everything like that. So to see these ladies talk about theirs, but then overcome that on the runway and to see other people gravitate to it and it just grew from there. Like, it just became one of those things. It's just like, wow.
So I want to take a snapshot of your wisdom and experience, and I want you to speak to that young person who was the young Mickey Armstrong. They're watching you right now, or they're gonna watch this in the playback, and they have an idea. They got that burn in their belly, but they're a little apprehensive because they feel like they're not well known, they're not well connected, they don't have the money. What would you say to them about that idea that they have?
Figure out how to do it. Figure out how to do it, especially nowadays, like, because I'm going to say it's so much easier now, but that is always relative to the time and the person. It may not feel like it's easy, but figure out how to do it. Reach out, open your mouth, and ask for help, because people can't help you if they don't know that you need it. And there are way more people out here willing to help you than what you realize.
Wow.
So, you don't have to do everything on your own. So that's what I would say to anybody that's got this wild idea. The wilder the idea, the better. It's not as wild as what you might think it is. Like, go with that. People gravitate to wild ideas. And if it's something that hasn't been done, or you can't find a blueprint, then you make the blueprint. You are the blueprint, and do it.
That is amazing. And I love that you threw out there the wilder the idea. I think sometimes people, when we have something that's different, we kind of scared because we don't think that people will accept different. And I think more times than not, there are other influences that make us want to be kind of cookie cutter, but that's not the reality of people. Of course, you know that, because look at what you did with District of Curves. And I want to ask you, while you were putting this together, did you have people in your ear that would tell you, man, don't nobody want to see no big girls doing no fashion show? Did you have those kind of naysayers?
You know what? I didn't have that in my ear. I grew up with that, because I've always liked plus size women, right? So that's always been the thing that I've always been drawn to. So, people want to make fun, but whatever. And then, the ladies in our family, plus size ladies in our family, like, that's always what I had. It just so happens that I have daughters that are super skinny, but I don't know where they got that from. But, I didn't have the naysayers when I was doing it, because 10 years ago, when I started doing it, I was just over 30, and I didn't care what people had to say. Like, I'm gonna do what I do. What the hard part that I had was being a straight male in a female dominated space.
Talk
And
about it.
couple that with being in the plus size arena. So there's a safety aspect. A lot of the ladies in this space are already guarded because men try to take advantage. A lot of the ladies, especially where I bring the ladies from, are already dealing with self-esteem issues, for one reason or another. And so, it's very difficult to come in as a man and gain the trust of the people, right? So you have to gain the trust of the right people to add legitimacy to what you're doing. And then you have to maintain that trust and that integrity, because, it don't take but one time to slip up, and then there you go. So that's the hard part. That was the hard part, is being a man in this, because they're like, all right, why are you here?
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something that surprised me when I came to my first show that I came to that you put on. I thought I would only see women models and modeling, but I saw the fellas too, and it was so refreshing. I think that you've opened a door, because you said something earlier about body shaming. At the end of the day, all of us got to wear clothes,
Right.
all
Right.
of us, and so you have opened the door. And let me, y'all who are looking, please believe me when I tell you, this is not a thrown together event. If you have not been to a District of Curves event, you are missing out. Do you hear me what I'm saying? It is elegant. It is classy. It is so well organized, so well put together. The presentation is out of this world. it is. I mean, I was so blown away. I looked at him because he's my younger cousin. He's much younger than me, right? And I'm not going to give you his middle name. I'm probably the only. I mean, his nickname. I'm probably the only one in the family that still call him by his nickname, right?
No,
Everybody,
my mom
huh?
and them do.
Okay, cool, right? And so he's always been that. But when I saw the show, I had to almost apologize. Not that I thought that he could not, but I just did not realize all of the work and professionalism and success. And let me tell you something, it's not just the success of what he is doing. He said something earlier. If you spend money with me, I want you to make your money back. What he has done in opening the door for other entrepreneurs to come and make money with him is amazing. And I doubt if you'll speak to too many business owners who've done business with him that will have anything negative to say. I want you to speak about that part too, because we talk about the excellence in Black business and culture and all that. I want you to address that because that's an important part of what you do.
Yeah, it is, and that means a lot to me. Is elevating other businesses around me and other people. So it's funny you bring it up. So one of the things that we're doing with the platform in 2025, in lieu of having the big show, because we're not having the big show this year because it takes 6 to 9 months to put that thing together. And so what I want to do is expand the brand, and a part of that is creating a platform, streaming live stream show platform where people can advertise their products and sponsor episodes and get their brands, their fashion brands or whatever out there, to continue to make money with the platform, right? So
Mm.
that is a big thing because again, we're all creators. As you know, it costs money to put these things on. It costs money to produce stuff. You know, StreamYard doubled their prices, a couple months ago.
Yes.
So, I'm out here putting this stuff together, but these people who come to do my show, they have to travel. They have to sew their collections if they're doing that, or they have to source the clothes, wherever they get them from. They have to put all that stuff together and they have to get to us. Then they're taking a risk by putting the clothes on the model. Now we professionally train our models, and teach them, but accidents do happen. So, they're taking a risk by putting their clothes on the models. That's an expense. A lot of the designers that make their stuff give the clothes to the models.
Mm.
So, the makeup artists, we have volunteers that come out for that because we have so many models and whatnot. So they're giving up their time and their product. So I have to give it back, right? I have to give them an opportunity to make their money back. My vendors come out and they spend anywhere from $150 to $200 per session to vend with me. So I have to create the environment to where people are going to shop with them or be able to at least get some leads for future things. Now, I'm gonna bring it to you. As they say, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. So, I'm gonna cue it up, and I'm gonna throw the alley up, and you have to make the shot. You got to dunk it. So
Right.
I'm gonna bring the people to you in all the ways that I can. You have to sell your product, but I'm gonna create the platform for them to do so because
That's a boss.
that's what
That's
I
a
do.
boss move, and this is why we're showcasing Black excellence. Now, I wanna go back a little bit to throwing the parties and your mom and dad's garage, right? To photography in college as a side hustle. I want you to tell the story of how doing all those things actually led up to you having the confidence of having M. Armstrong Photography, because you've done many, many events. Oh my God. And the Armstrong Media Company. And then, like I say, even this tremendous presence in social media, because you didn't just appear. This has been brewing for many, many years. Can you tell that story?
Yeah, man. I have always been, I've always felt like I was supposed to be working for myself or doing business, it never felt right. Even as a small child, the concept of working for somebody, even though I do work for somebody, I got a family and all that. But the concept of working for somebody never felt right to me, right? Even as my mom would tell you, like as a kid, I would always say, well, if somebody can afford to pay you, I'm talking to my mom, if somebody can afford to pay you to come here every day and everybody else that's with you, I want to be the person that can afford to do that. So, so it started off with me. My dad he used to work at Refco, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, I would sell candy. I called him one day and was like, hey, I need you. I'm like in middle school. I was like, I need you to buy this list of candy. And he's like, Mickey, what you talking about? I was like, don't worry about it. I got my own money, had my own little birthday money and everything that I had saved up. And we got he got a discount. He got a like a 50% discount at that time, even on sales stuff. So I had mapped out what I wanted to do. And I told my dad what I needed, what I wanted. I had to wait until Sunday, got the paper. So I'm telling my age now. Got the sales paper to see what candy was on sale. And I told my dad the candy that I needed and gave him the money to get it and came back so that I could go sell it in school, and double it. And I would take out, if I knew I spent $50, I would take that 50 when I made it. I would take that 50 back and put that back into the business and just roll. So this has been something for me since I was a child, so I've never not had the confidence to do it. It's just, it feels right. Business, marketing, learning how people shop, how people engage, not just shop, because you got to learn how people engage, and building that brand awareness has always been with me. People don't buy products when it comes, when you get to these levels and whatnot. People are not buying your product. People are buying into you. People are investing into the person. It don't matter what it is. I could sell, I could sell t-shirts or whatever. It really doesn't matter. My audience is gonna buy whatever I sell because they trust me.
Mm.
You know,
It's amazing because you really giving away some free stuff here, right? So before the marketing class, you hit on something. If people are listening and pay attention, you're talking about observing what people buy, how they buy. This all comes from observation. Was that taught to you that somebody put you on their knee and say, listen, son, this is what you need to be doing? Or was that just you saying, listen, I'm trying to make me some money. How do I do this?
it was me trying to make some money. How do I do this? I didn't like asking Cassandra for money. Um, you know, I did not like going to her, ask her for money. And I mean, my dad always brought money into the house. Like no matter what, he always brought money. And all I've ever seen is the men in my family work and make money, make their own money. So I wanted to do the same thing, but I wanted to do it in my own way.
Wow. This is amazing. So now you're also a photographer and a videographer. I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk about that part of the business. You've done some major events that don't get the same, I guess, acclaim, the public acclaim that maybe District of Curve gets, but maybe somebody want to hire you to do their wedding, their anniversary, their special event. Tell them about M. Armstrong Photography.
Yeah, so M. Armstrong Photography, that is the photography arm. We do weddings. I've shot, many weddings, professional headshots, family portraits, those things that we don't think we need, but we really do need. You know what I mean? So that is that's my art. That's my artistic side of things. Like it's the expression. So when I shoot stuff like a wedding, I shoot it from a storytelling standpoint, because the bride and the groom, the most important people of the day, are also the two people that don't actually get to see and experience their wedding. You know, the audience gets to see and experience it, but the bride and groom doesn't. So I try to retell that story so that they can see what we saw.
Mm.
And that's the thing. It's a lot of work, you know, but I put it together so they can see what we saw. And so that's the art part of it. I don't do it for, I do charge. I don't do it for money though. It's a love thing, because I love it.
So let me ask you this, and maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, but I feel like I could take a risk with you. Now, for the person who maybe didn't go to college and have all those business courses and have all those nice degrees on their wall, they're trying to break through and they're saying, listen, man, I don't have the credentials. How do I know how to set my price? How do I know how to market to this person or to that person? How do I even know what my target audience is? What kind of, basic advice would you give a person who all they have is an idea? They don't have a lot of confidence. They don't have a lot of exposure. They don't have a lot of experience. I know you told them earlier, find a way to do it, but somebody had to teach you how to set your price so you can meet your bottom line and have a profit margin. That had to come from, whether it was a formal class or somebody just giving you some game on the side. How would you give that to somebody who's asking you, Mickey, how do you do this?
Yeah, for me, it's always been game on the side because I went to school for cybersecurity. I didn't even go for business. So, but YouTube University, I would say you need to go, no matter what your industry is, you need to go and follow, go look on YouTube, go to TikTok, find somebody that's in that industry and follow them because these days now there is somebody in every industry telling you how to price your particular widget that you sell, whatever that may be. I want to make sure I be able to answer this other question too. Is somebody working in the industry, Brian and Groom moving along. Okay, yeah. I would say too, no matter what you sell, you have to look at what you spend. We have to get a lot of times what we have issues with the artist. We want to be the artist, but we don't want to be the business person. So we struggle with, or we want to help everybody out. So we struggle with trying to price things out and all that good stuff. You at the very least, to break even, you got to look at what it costs you to produce whatever it is you're doing. And you have to set your price. You got to start there. So for me, I have to look at how much time it takes me to shoot whatever it is that I'm shooting and how much time it takes me to edit whatever it is that I'm shooting. So like a wedding, it might be an 8-hour wedding, but that's not 8 hours worth of work. An 8-hour wedding can be 40 hours worth of work because of all of the editing that comes after it. And so I had to learn how to price myself based on that, because if you don't do it right, when somebody comes and shines a light on your business and they're looking at, make you break down what you're making per hour, a lot of people realize that you're actually making less per hour in your business than you are at your regular full-time job that you can go and get. And you don't even realize that, but it comes out that way because you have to think about what it is that you price, what it costs you, and then your time. Time is the most valuable thing. Time away from your family, time outside. I mean, it's all your time. You have to travel from point A to point B. You have to consider all of those things. And that was something that I had to learn from trial and error and from listening to other people, not just photographers, because I listen to a lot of podcasts in the business space, the content space, the marketing space, and they always talk about that time. You pay for time. So like when everything you do, you pay for time. You're getting somebody to cut your hair or go to the hairdresser to do your hair. You're paying for that person's expertise, but you're paying for time because you can do it yourself. You don't want to do it yourself. So what do? You go pay somebody else to do it. So you got to learn how to price your time, value yourself, know your worth, so to speak, right? And that's cliche, but know your worth.
This is amazing. And I'm so glad that you're sharing. And really, this is basic stuff. You have really given a litany of resources that are free. I'm amazed that so much of what you have learned and at the level that you are now, you're still learning by going to get the free podcast, going to YouTube and watch these videos. I do that myself. Didn't know that so many other people were doing it, to be quite honest with you. And you're right. Starting a business in this era, much different than what it was when you were in middle school and in college trying to do it, because it was way more difficult to try to advertise yourself. if anything, now I'm sure you get people who are reaching out to you. It's probably some stuff you got to turn down, I would imagine, because of logistics. For you to go do a wedding in Vegas.
I mean, it's like you got to be able to. You can have me, but you're gonna pay for it. But in addition to paying for my expertise and all of that good stuff, you're also paying for the amount of time that it takes for me to be away from my kids and everything like that. So if I'm gonna be away from my kids, then it's gotta be the return has to be worth it. Because I can't justify that anymore. I mean, I could never really justify it, but the older they get, the more you realize you can't justify the time away from your kids. It just has to be, the money has to just come in to make it, experience opportunities, but because you can't get that time back.
Right.
I had a 22-year-old about to graduate from college. Like,
yeah.
You know what I would do to be able to turn her back to 12 to 8 to, you know what I mean? But you can't get that back.
This is amazing. Now, this is what I want to know from you. It is obvious that you put a lot into what you do, whether it's the photography, the videography, the fashion show, whatever it is that you're doing. It is obvious that you put a lot into it. When you're doing business, for instance, like at the District of Curves events, and you're doing business with vendors, because you work in excellence, is there a certain criteria or certain traits that you look for, especially if it's a new business? Familiar people, that's easy because you know what you're getting with them. But I'm sure there are new businesses that are introduced to you. How do you kind of vet them to make sure that you're sharing space with somebody who shares your particular idea of what excellence is, so they don't pull down the experience for your customers?
Yeah. So now, my team is really good at that. I have people in different lanes. So if the new business comes into whatever lane they're in, I give that to my team, and they know what my standards are, and then they have their own. Everybody has to start somewhere, and I get that. So basic stuff I look for is, are you set up for success in a way that when my traffic hits you, you are ready? And so do you have a website or a place to sell your goods? Like, do you have goods to sell? Like, if you're a vendor, is everything that we have here on the table, is that ready to go? Can people buy that right now? Same thing with the designers. I try to encourage the designers, like, you need to be ready to sell that night, because somebody is going to want to buy what they saw off that runway, and they're going to want to buy it tonight. So you either need to be able to sell it off the model's back, or you need to have a website where they can go and get it. So, that's the kind of stuff I look for. Are you set up for success? If you're not, how close are you? Like, can we get you there? Because we'll do that too. We'll try to work with you to get you to the point where you can be by the night of the show.
Stand by. Wait a minute. I want to make sure I'm hearing this properly. I want to make sure the audience hears this properly. You're saying that if you see that you want to do business with a particular vendor, if they got what it takes, but maybe not quite there with being able to market, you and your team will help get them to the finish line before the night of the show so that they can be ready?
We will. Sometimes it's to our detriment, right? But we will, especially if we have enough time, depending on where you are, we'll bring you along, and try to get you ready to go the night of the show, to be able to present, and get out there, whatever that might mean. Like, if we need to help you promote, we need to give you some resources to maybe get some product a little bit faster, or, if me cutting my vendor price in half will then give you a springboard to be able to get a few more things, like, let's figure out what we need to do to get you to where you need to be. And if we just can't get you there, then come sit with us for this show so that you be ready for next year, or ready for the next show, the next vendor opportunity that comes along, even if it's not with me.
So you're already mentoring. I didn't know that. You're mentoring.
Yeah. I mean, it is mentoring, right? For me, it's it's just normal. It's what I love to do, helping people, service people, you know. But when I'm forced to stop and look at it, yes, it is mentoring, it is helping people, but it's what I've been doing my whole life, really. Is, you know, I can talk to somebody all day long about their business and their passion and give you all types of resources. You know, you ask me, hey, I don't know how to do this or whatever. I'm gonna fire off 5 or 6 things right off the top of my head, just telling you, you know, where it is to go get it.
Wow. Now let me ask you this. Now we're in the DMV area, and people that look like you and I, there's no shortage of us in the DMV area.
Mm-hmm.
When you do business outside of this area where people that look like you and I may not be as plentiful, do you see a difference in how you are received or how you're dealt with?
Yes. Not in all cases, but it's always at the forefront, at least for me, right? Because, you know, we can't take this off. So I'm always aware of it. And I've encountered people who are a bit apprehensive until I show them that, you know, I know what I'm doing. Um, you
Right.
know, and this is not something that's thrown together. One of our big sponsors this past year was City Chic, and City Chic is an Australian company.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I was on the phone at all weird hours with their Australia office, talking to their higher ups, you know, and telling them what it is that we do, you know, and they're none of their people look like us.
Right. Right.
You know, none of their website looks like us, you know, or anything like that. And you know, they did their research on us, and you know, within a couple of days, they were writing me a check, you know.
Now you just opened up a whole nother portal that I must explore. Okay, you and I, kids from South Norfolk, for people who don't understand that, we didn't grow up with silver spoons.
Right.
Would you agree?
Definitely.
We're two kids from South Norfolk. Who would ever thought that where we come from, you would be on the phone in the middle of the night working a deal with an Australian company to write you a check for your event? What prepared you to be able to speak to their board members, their executives, to sell your business and your idea so they will feel comfortable doing business with you?
So what prepared me? Cassandra Armstrong, Mickey Armstrong, my daddy, and Norfolk State University. You know, Norfolk State, behold the green and gold. My experiences at Norfolk State reconfirmed that, you know, we are legitimate, and I don't care who you are, where you're from or whatnot. Like I can sit in front of you and have the same conversations that you can sit in front of Elon Musk or whoever rich person and have them conversations. You know, I know what I'm doing. I'm confident in my product. I know what my product can do for you, you know, because I would have never approached you if I didn't already know what I could do for you. And we can have this conversation. At the end of the day, you can take it or you can leave it. You know, I mean, and that's really what it is. I never
And
see my daddy back down to nobody.
this strikes me because I hear the confidence, but I don't hear arrogance. And there is a difference. You can tell when somebody is talking to you and there's an air of arrogance, but yours is just flat-footed confidence. I have a product, I have a business, I have a service, I know what I'm doing, I know my worth, and I can help you. Would you like it? Yes or no?
Yes or no? I mean, you know my parents. I've never seen my mother or my father back down to anybody. Behold, hey Spartan.
That's right. She's
But
one of my
I've never
coworkers.
seen them back down to anybody, right or wrong. I've never seen them back down to anybody.
What a
And
tremendous thing.
that's just, you know, that's just how we are. My sister's a lawyer. She can argue, you
Yes,
know.
yes, she can. And she probably learned it arguing with you in those early years.
And me, you know, and your uncle.
Yes, I wasn't gonna mess with him, but since you brought it up,
I'm gonna I sent him the link to this, so he should be watching. I'm gonna mess with him.
oh, he's on. You know he's not gonna miss it. Now, this is just so tremendously amazing to me. Now, you hit something else that I must talk about. You talked about the traditional Black university, Norfolk State University, and how that prepared you. I look at my brother and your first cousin Tim, another Norfolk State graduate who has done tremendous international business. How do you think the experience of going to a HBCU uniquely prepared you for what you're doing, as being juxtaposed to maybe if you went to one of the traditionally white universities?
So the HBCU experience for me, which I mean, I do have to give it to my mother because she wanted that for me. I didn't want that for me when I was younger, but I didn't know. When you're a kid, you don't know. Um, but it gives you something. Like, it gives you a confidence boost, a sense of belonging, because you are there with your people and you see your people excelling in all different types of things. And then, we got our issues too, right? But overcoming those issues, it teaches you how to trust but verify. um Not necessarily take no for an answer. Just because somebody told you no doesn't mean that that was the right answer, or that the next person beside them won't tell you yes. So, all of that, not having everything handed to you, not having everything wrapped up so pretty in a little bow. I mean, I did an internship at the University of Alabama. Um, PWI, very large PWI. I enjoyed my time at Alabama. I'm Crimson Tide fan, all that good stuff, right? But those kids there have everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have a beautiful campus. Not, I mean, our campus is beautiful too, but I mean, they have everything. The whole city of Tuscaloosa bows down to University of Alabama. Like, and you have everything. Like, nothing's broken, or if it is broken, it's not broken to the level that is broken over here. Same thing with ODU. You know what I mean? Like, and it is, it's just different. You learn how to persevere. Now, I'm taking nothing away from people, to go to the PWIs, because I know they got their own struggles. But over here at our HBCUs, you do run into a lot of challenges, and you learn how to overcome them. Not always alone. You got people, a community of people around you that will help you come through those challenges. And if you take those things with you, it's nothing you can't do, you know. And then you get older and you look and you see the people that graduated with you and all the things that they're doing and the positions that they're in. I have had Ivy League students work for me, you know, and they want to put up their degree. Well, I put up my green and gold degree against whatever Ivy degree, or your UVAs, and all of those things, and I sign your time card.
How about that?
So
How about that?
yeah. So I have to give it to my university, my parents, for instilling that stuff when I was really young.
This is amazing. Listen, I want one of those shirts that you got on. Can you lean back a little bit so we
I
can see that?
can, yes.
Now, for the audience members who looking at that shirt saying, "I got to get me one," how can we get one, sir?
So glad you said that. I have it on my the website districtofcurves.com, as well as Instagram. Follow on Instagram at districtofcurves.com. You'll see a link in the bio for Linktree, and I have a shop on there also. So right now I have these shirts, and the back of these, not this one, but the back of them say the 10-year anniversary. But I'm changing that. It's 10 years in the game, so we're going to change that one. It's going to be these, and my Curves Ahead Project shirts that are going to be there. And that is how you can get it. That is also how you can help support what we're doing, because these things are not free. So buying the merchandise, which will be a big push this year, will help support us so that we can continue to support you.
All right. How can the audience of Carl's Conversations, other than doing that, is there anything else that the audience of Carl's Conversations can do to help the District of Curves, Armstrong Media Company, or M. Armstrong Photography?
Spread the word. Just spread the word, man. Spread the word. Let people know. Follow the pages, District of Curves. Um, all of it. And spread the word, not just to your friends, but spread the word to other business owners too. And let other business owners know that there's another platform, other platforms out there like ours that, you know, yours and mine, that they can work with to get their stuff out there. Because that, when you spread the word like that, that connects my network with your network, with their network. And that is even greater than just connecting me with this person and that person. I take that too.
Right.
But when you can connect the businesses and the business networks together, like, that grows. You know, I can take my 10,000, I can give you my 10,000 followers on Instagram have now been introduced to you.
Right.
You know, and then they can just, it just goes from there. So spreading the word is free. It don't cost anything. And that is the number one way to help us grow.
That's what I'm talking about. This is awesome. Listen, everybody, I have Mickey's information scrolling on the crawler at the bottom of the screen. You can find them at Armstrong Media Company LLC. You can find them at M. Armstrong Photography. Also, District of Curves, the DMV area full figured fashion show. It is amazing. You can find them on IG. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on the website. Are you on TikTok also?
I'm on TikTok too. Yep.
That's what I'm talking about.
District of Curves on TikTok also.
So they can find you. I know on Facebook you're Mickey Leon. You also are District of Curves.
Yep.
Do you have the photography on
Plus
social
Model Photography and M. Armstrong Photography. Yep. All of my stuff, the names, what it is what it is. That's another thing, another free game for y'all. Stop doing all these cute, fancy names. Make your name searchable and easy to find, because people remember like that. People ain't gonna remember, you know, Susie Q's cute shoe store. They'll remember Susie Q, spell it right. You know, so that's all my stuff is that way.
This is awesome. I want to thank you not only for saying yes to come and let people know how excellent you are, but I want to thank you for sharing. You gave some free game out today that's going to help some up and coming business owners. And I'm going to suppose, I want to hear from you too. I'm supposing that some folks are going to be reaching out to you from this interview, because you have done a great job at letting people know who you are, what you represent. And I'm going to tell y'all, listen, if you have not had an opportunity to get to one of those fashion shows, you have to experience it. I don't care what anybody tells you who's been there. There's nothing like having your face in the place. And it's not just a show. My wife and I still do business with a few of those vendors who we met at the fashion show. All right.
That's awesome.
Black excellence on display, on showcase. And this is what this month is all about, Carl's Conversations, with this showcase of Black excellence. And Mickey, I got to tell you, I got a sneaky suspicion that we're going to go far beyond February. I think that by the time we're 3 or 4 deep in this thing, that I already can see it. I'm hoping that everybody else can see it. We need to continue. We don't need to be confined to February. There's a showcase of Black excellence everywhere. And I want to keep it going as long as there is an interest and an audience for it. So once again, I want to thank you for being one of the foundational pillars for this showcase. I really do appreciate your time and your information.
No problem. Thank you. Oh, last thing. Y'all, look up Miss Full Figure USA National Capital Region. It's a brand new pageant that we are bringing to the DMV this year. Me and my partner that hosted DOC with me last year. So look for that too.
Can you say it one more time?
Yeah, Miss Full Figured USA National Capital Region, Miss Full Figured NCR on all platforms. And if you are a pageant queen or you want to be a pageant queen, ages 18 to 65, check us out.
That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for your time, audience. We thank you. Listen, follow us on Facebook, on YouTube, and on TikTok. All right. You can find Carl's Conversations on Facebook, YouTube, and on TikTok. We'll have more information coming, and the showcase of Black excellence continues. We're going to sign off for now, but we have more coming for you this week. All right. Y'all have a great evening and good night to you. Bye-bye for now.